Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, on the map Arabian Basin, sporting in the bottom of the map in the blue color. Going in with the Odin here. His name is Suppe. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Shadowfaxx. The map is Arabian Basin. A very, very exciting one. We'll have to wait and see how it's going to go, but yes, this map is a lot of fun. We're actually seeing Shadowfaxx opening with a very familiar build order. This is a build order that we've actually seen kind of pioneered by Green Sea Squash to some extent. Basically, the build order allows you to drop 2 granaries in the archaic age and get a very, very fast advance time. So we'll have to wait and see if Shadowfaxx is going to be able to execute this or not, as we do already see Suppe doing his almost patented wooden wall abuse here. And this isn't the biggest of deals. If you're playing this situation as the Zeus player, I would recommend simply put just moving up to your rhinos over here, as we see the walls coming up here for Suppe. The goat gets kind of gets spotted on that position as the scout checking everything out on the top side over here. As we see the villagers already moving forward. Are they going to be fast enough to get onto this wooden wall here? Oh, he decides against it. Yeah, it's really, really not worth it to break these down. You want to basically, the best play has to be grab the top hunt over here and get your Minotaur to break these walls down and then move through afterwards. As these guys are they're having a good time. Like, this is a 3rd, 4th place match, so while it is a still a competitive game, there's still some money on the line. These guys are very, very friendly with each other, so there's no bad blood here, or no, I don't know why would there be bad blood with anyone, but it's just a fun extra game here to see who's going to come 3rd and who's going to come 4th. But we have seen that Suppe opened basically with his kind of almost patented like starting dwarf. I believe he went on to wood straight away. Has a whole bunch of food income right now. He's going to be moving his scout around looking for everything here, and we'll see if Shadowfaxx is going to be looking for any sort of a fast advance. He still hasn't put his temple down there. His temple goes. So it looks like Shadowfaxx is just going for a fairly slow advance time here, which, I mean, it's probably going to be fine. But sometimes when you have to break through this wall here, this rhinoceros might take a hot minute to, or they actually might be expired by the time you escape your base if you're advancing a little bit late here. As we see another storehouse coming up on that location over here, trying to steal away some of these goats, positioning them in the corners or something. As the temple in the middle of the map coming up for Suppe. This is very, very aggressive placement for him. He is looking to be on the map super early against Shadowfaxx to try and make this all work here. As his Raven is coming out, they're going to be easily able to move into his opponent's base and cause some pressure there. As do we see Athena coming through? We see the Jason coming in here for Shadowfaxx. He's going to use that to break the wall down. I think that's a smart idea, and just opt for a bit of a later advance time here as his final villager going to come up. Heimdall is the god of choice. Heimdall. What is the purpose of Heimdall? I do not know, but the Jason is out right now. It looks like it's going to move up here and actually grab Guy's Book of Knowledge for some reason. I'm not sure what the idea with that is though. But Heimdall and not Freya here. I would have expected Freya to either be breaking this front up to attack his opponent, potentially opening up his base by forest firing this, so he can this back wood line and all the other good stuff that could happen there. But Heimdall, I'm not. What else could this be? Could it be for like mass towers to some degree? A fast second town center might be the option here as well from Suppe, but I'm not sure that you want to go fast second town center against a potential Athena here, as the wooden wall getting slowly scraped down here as the wall's coming up over here. The Minotaur does the most damage to the wall. It has a very, very large amount of damage to deal against this. So all you need is a Odysseus to attack the the Hersa, and then everything else will kind of be fine here as we see some more walls coming up onto this position. So both players opting to play this one incredibly defensive at this point, and Suppe is going for the fast second town center in this matchup, which is very, very surprising, as we do see that the Rhino is going to be expiring here. The villagers onto the storehouse over here, as well as the Minotaur is going to be moving over here to try and break down this wall over here. We will be seeing the Odysseus coming out as well. And it looks like Shadowfaxx wants to move in and grab these giraffe here. Currently mining himself some gold over here as well, jumping onto the chickens. This is a very, very advantageous position to be in for Suppe. As the wall, while it is going to get repaired, it's not going to be repaired fast enough. And the Hersa will be that is rude. That is very rude, but I'm not sure it's going to get up, especially with the Odysseus coming in here to shoot the Hersa away. As we see, the Hersa might actually get trapped here, as he does manage to trap that one. Suppe losing that will also drop the relic, which is the nose of the Sphinx. Not a bad relic there either, as Shadowfaxx now going to move his villagers forward. The town center is up for Suppe, but this is a one town center, a very angry Athena here from Shadowfaxx. And one thing I wouldn't be surprised from Shadowfaxx is extra Minotaur coming through here, as well as, I mean, he's got all of this hunt over here as well. So some sort of kind of 80 population push onto this town center with a restoration might be too much for Suppe to handle, as the units are pushing over here to try and attack these villages. We are seeing the Longhouse coming up on this location as well, as the Rhinoceros does end up going down. The village is going to be pulling back inside of the town center over here, going to be jumping onto the Rhinoceros underneath this town center for the time being, as the temple over here going to get picked off. More units coming through. It's about time to be dropping extra military buildings down. If your name is Shadowfaxx, if you want to be going for an all-in of some variety, you've basically, the timings for secondary military buildings are around about 6 minutes for the Greek players here, as the Thrown Axeman here doing a lot of damage, as we do finally see the Minotaur getting off a special ability here, as the army has to retreat just a little bit here, as the Hersa causing a little bit too much pain, as the Minotaur going to move around here and potentially trying to target this down, as we see Restoration coming in to try and keep that Jason alive. As the Minotaur moving in onto the back here, might be able to get a special ability off. Does manage to pick off one of those Thrown Axemen there, as the Hersa does fall. Another Hersa going to be falling over here. I'm very surprised that Suppe is taking this fight, as Suppe has to retreat back here. Restoration down, but Shadowfaxx here, like, I mean, he doesn't have to drop extra military buildings, but he should go into Minotaur as another option here. But we'll see what he's going to be going for, as his army's retreating back over here. We are seeing the raiding cavalry getting some good damage done, as Shadowfaxx waiting on the back. We do see there is an Einiyar over here that hasn't been quite being used for the time being, as we are seeing the Toxotes trying to get some good damage done here, but good attack there from Suppe to snipe one of those Toxotes here, as Suppe going to be pulling back after all is said and done, still eating up these Rhinoceros in the middle of the map here, as Shadowfaxx is getting himself labyrinth of minnows here. So I like this. I think this is 100% what he should be doing. We are still seeing Hersa getting trained here by Suppe, however, but another archery range going up, and the idea is hoplites plus Toxotes plus the 150 food Minotaur to push down this town center is going to be very, very hard to stop. However, Suppe might be able to just retreat back and be completely fine. He's got two Rhinoceros over here. You can just sack this town center, take the economic advantage, go heroic cage, and he might be okay here, as Shadowfaxx is biding his time over here. Maybe taking a little bit too long, as we see a bolt there onto that Einiyar. That is not really what he wanted to do there at all. As the units now coming through, Bull Minotaur getting a little bit more HP. Do we see some Minotaur coming out? Yes, we do. Only one villager on that temple, though. I wouldn't mind seeing like 2 or 3 there to just really pump out those Minotaur, as the Hersa are going to be able to clean up those if there's not really too many of them. As now we see the units coming onto this position over here to grab this gold mine. There's lots of gold here for the Norse player to hold on to, at this stage, as we see some units coming around onto this location. The Raven going to be checking this one out, so we'll see how that's all going to go as the army coming through here onto this position, looking for a raid, but the army going to get a couple of hits off before it does push through. There is a very easy retreat path through that wall over there if he so chooses, as the army going to swing in onto this position while this is all going on and get a cheeky little raid onto these units over here. We do see already the dwarves pulling off of this location, but these are Toxotes, so a little bit of migraine from Shadowfaxx will go a really, really long way as he does decide to pull back. But a good amount of damage done there. There's still 4 units remaining as he's still trying to push forward on the front. This wall over here has been broken down. Where are the Minotaurs going? The Minotaur chasing around the raiding cavalry over there as the other one moving in onto this position now. As I imagine we'll see more and more Minotaur coming through now as Shadowfaxx is at 104 of 105 population, trying to take out these units as best as he can. The Bull Minotaur trying to get off the special ability, not quite able to just yet, as the Toxotes are kind of all finding their own little spot on that location there, as the villagers going to move over here to grab those giraffe on that position, as the hoplites and the Toxotes coming back over here to snipe down a couple more villagers, trying to do just a little bit of damage while all the fighting happening on this location, as the Bull Minotaur trying to retreat away from those Herser. It's vitally important that he gets all of his units over. He's sending some more Toxotes onto this position as the units trying to fight back while the fight is happening in the middle of the map, but it still looks like Shadowfaxx is going to be able to hold here ever so slightly, especially because he's going to get more and more Minotaur to move over here. He's going to be retreating back for the time being, but more damage coming through onto this position, as Shadowfaxx really not that far behind on the villager count right now, as Suppe retreats back into his main base. He's got no gold in the bank, 91 population in the banks. Shadowfaxx has got excess gold up the wazoo. It's very, I mean, this is a kind of a macro thing where you have to realize that you've got too many resources coming in. And if you don't, then what you should do is just take all your villagers off of that resource and put them over onto a different one until you need that resource again. But right now, good damage coming through as Suppe is picking off units left, right, and center, as Shadowfaxx's population drops down to 80 here, as the Toxotes moving through onto this position over here, as the raiding cavalry are going to come over here and take this out very, very quickly as well, as we do see the Bull Minotaur trying to finish off that raiding cavalry as best as they can, but the rest of these units will be falling here. As Shadowfaxx, while he did some good damage here, he's kind of finding himself in a little bit of a predicament here, as the Bull Minotaur still getting taken down nicely, as those Toxotes trying to pick off the throwing axemen as best as they can. We are still seeing some more hoplites coming in onto this position as more units coming through. I imagine Shadowfaxx is going to want to drop a town center here fairly soon, or go to the next age as an idea as well. Meanwhile, eating the giraffe of his opponent on that location, as one hoplite sitting over here. We do see that the units have moved back over onto that gold mine on the bottom corner over there, as where'd the villagers go that moved forward? Not onto the town center just yet. Going to be moving in here to grab all of the hunt, the gold in the middle as well. But Shadowfaxx here, he needs to figure out a way forward at this point. He's got 2 Minotaur over here. He's got 3 villagers on the favor. He's got a handful of units idle over here. He's trying to push forward with a handful of units that he does have. Still not clicking his units here to move forward. I don't know if he doesn't notice it or not, but he just doesn't. Well, obviously he doesn't notice that he's got nearly full population. He's currently housed. He needs another house up. Is he throwing one down somewhere? Who knows? As the unit's swinging around here, going to look to try and hit this gold mine on that position. Still, units sitting idly by. I don't know if they're bugged out or not, because it makes no sense that they would be sitting there if he's using the idle military, select all idle military hotkey. As the army does come through onto this position, villagers getting pushed off over here. Units sitting over here as well for Shadowfaxx. It could be pushing in, trying to take out the town center, as the dwarves getting picked off that gold mine. But when you're trading one raid for another raid, it is favoring the 2 town center player here, as Safeguard actually coming through for Suppe, as he wants some cheaper walls, cheaper towers, stronger walls, stronger towers as well. Shadowfaxx is going to be pulling back. We do see some units coming through onto this position to try and hold here, as most of these villages will be surviving, as the Bull Minotaur is getting some good damage done. The Toxotes coming in will be able to snipe down those Herser incredibly fast. They do a lot of damage to the Minotaur, but they also die incredibly fast here as well, as we do see a town center coming up now for Shadowfaxx. I feel like he should just go for it right now. He should go for the big attack. 3 Minotaurs, a handful of hoplites here, 91 population for Suppe. As Shadowfaxx trying to control both of these armies as best as he possibly can, but kind of all he needs to do is just attack right into this position. There's lots of farms down on here that'll get pushed off. There's the gold mine over here as well, as we do see the hoplite sniping down a villager here. This villager over here, very low HP, but it does look like the hoplite will be falling here as the army going to be moving around onto this position, try and hit that gold mine yet again. As the army comes through here, we see a villager snipe. I wonder if he just goes after the town center. Surely Suppe's going to be able to hit the heroic age here relatively soon. As Shadowfaxx, he might maybe just moving in and taking out the hometown center wouldn't be a bad idea either here, as the villagers on this wood line might just decide to move forward here onto this gold mine or onto this wood line over here. Suppe slowly but surely getting further and closer, I should say, to the heroic age, which is very, very scary for Shadowfaxx. As Shadowfaxx is going to tear down this house over here, tear down this house, and now Suppe has to decide which town center will he go to the next age with here, as the villagers might need to pull themselves off of this location here. Will we see the town center attack the town center? Look at how many hoplites. We have 3 Minotaur and that many hoplites. We do see the army now coming back for Suppe, as the units do get pushed off of that gold mine for the time being, but they're still on gold all over the place. And we do see Skadi coming through. Meanwhile, we see Skadi on the front town center here as the army pushes through. But Shadowfaxx is going to decide to retreat here as medium infantry, medium cavalry coming through. Lots of favor in the bank here for Suppe. So if you can get up to 1,000 favor here, he will be able to get himself out tons of those frost giants and deal with all of these Minotaur that have come through as the villagers get pushed off of whatever they were on over there. But Suppe does need to get himself out of temple here, because he's not going to get himself that free frost giant if he forgets it. As the army swinging through here, could potentially try and take out the armory and stop any sort of upgrades coming through. Focusing down houses and everything else is going to be really, really good. As we see, the temple has been recognized that it's not up here. But is it too little too late? He's at 90%. He needs to get this up in like 6 seconds. I do not think he's going to be able to do that. So no kind of help here for Suppe in terms of the frost giants. As you see a third town center up for Shadowfaxx, as he's just going to be able to advance to the next age. As the army coming through onto this position, lots of villagers through for Suppe. Dionysus, the god of choice here for Shadowfaxx. Very surprising. Would have thought maybe an underworld here wouldn't have been a bad idea to force, or I mean, if you get frosted now, to kind of hit somewhere else. As you do see, the Minotaur have managed to retreat back here. More military buildings coming down for Shadowfaxx all over the map. Wouldn't mind seeing walls getting thrown down as well over here. Sarissa coming through for his hoplites to get a little bit more hack armor in. You take a look at the armory upgrades. There aren't any armor upgrades just yet for Shadowfaxx, but he's going to be able to get them through very, very shortly here. As well as, I don't think this is, I mean, it's a good amount of damage that is going to be coming through here for Suppe. But he needs to get his own town center up, so he does send a unit over there. But while this is going on, we see a handful of units going to be able to prevent that from happening, which is absolutely huge. Meanwhile, military buildings getting snuck in onto this location as well to prevent this town center from ever going up. We'll see if Shadowfaxx is going to be paying attention over here, as the army will be retreating back. But right now, there is still no help for Suppe on this position, as the army sitting on this gold mine. He doesn't notice the town center here. The villager might notice the town center, and then Shadowfaxx might move around there, but just too much going on in this game, it would seem, as the bronze is enough here to help Shadowfaxx stay alive. I imagine a market and going to the next age here wouldn't be a bad idea for Shadowfaxx, but he's going for the fortress, as the army going to be retreating back, and he still hasn't seen this town center going up just yet. This villager is in plain line of sight of it as well. He's got probably about another 30 seconds to a minute there to deal with that one, as the Hydra getting frosted over there, the Bull Minotaur getting frosted, as Jason can potentially take that down and keep his Bull Minotaur alive, try and keep his Hydra alive, as well as more Hydra actually getting built here for Shadowfaxx to be some sort of a help on this location, as the villager is starting to shank this down here. We do have a hoplite queued up. Will Shadowfaxx be able to hold or prevent that from going up, as some units are coming through here to take this one down, as we see an undermine coming through onto the fortress here to try and deny it. We'll see if that's going to be able to actually prevent it from going up or finishing at this point, as it does so much damage here. It does manage to prevent the fortress from going up on that position, and Shadowfaxx loses a lot of resources there. Suppe gets a big advantage. He's got lots of resources in the bank. We'll have to wait and see what he's deciding to do here, if he decides to go for Tyr or for Balder at this point. But right now, Shadowfaxx is full population and Suppe is hurting quite a bit here. As the town center does get taken out. Units pushing through, taking out dwarves, taking out villagers, taking everything out on this position as the Frost Giant is going to go straight after the Hydra yet again, as Odysseus getting targeted down there by the town center, as well as some extra units over here to try and keep his Frost Giant alive as best as he can. We are seeing, we do see the Hydra does manage to get itself an extra head there, but gets frozen yet again, as I imagine the other Hydra will say hello now and be able to actually deal with the other Frost Giant. It is kind of a, if you have more myth units than your opponent does have Frost Giants, then you can actually use your myth units that are kind of alive there to try and help out. So the army pushing through here nicely, but Balder is the god of choice here. Now the question is going to be, is Balder going to work here or not? As Shadowfaxx, he might be able to get through Hera here relatively fast as well, but he's putting a lot of pressure on. There's not a whole lot of population remaining for Suppe here in this game. This gold mine over here has got a lot of villagers currently on it. So this is a desperation Ragnarok, but it's a very, very high civilian unit count Ragnarok here. How many military academies do we actually have as more are getting thrown up? I think Shadowfaxx has to realize that kind of the only way he loses this game is going to be to Ragnarok. So the question is, does he try and rush next age, or does he just get a whole bunch of economic upgrades and throw military buildings down? He's got a lot of gold left on that back gold mine there as well. So he's got a lot of time here to fight, repopulate, and be kind of fine here. But he still hasn't gotten himself that heavy infantry through just yet, as that's going to be a big, scary thing coming for him in the near future. We'll see if Suppe goes for the immediate Ragnarok, if he's going to hold on to it here. And he does go for that immediate Ragnarok. He's got himself not full bronze, but full copper, as the army pushing forward. 311 population is a good, healthy amount of population here, ladies and gentlemen. So we do see a couple of units trying to get sniped down. But remember, there is still this back gold mine over here. Watchtowers coming through for Shadowfaxx as well. We see watchtowers getting thrown up on the town center as Shadowfaxx trying to delay here as best as he possibly can. Hephaestus starting to get trained through. But the problem is, as always, is fire giants here for Suppe. As the army pulling back, we will be seeing the fortress getting taken down there. Not able to get up just yet. The town center, the first port of call here for the big attack, as villagers sneaking through here to try and get onto a gold mine or something like that. We do have the Raven already over here checking that one out. So there's going to be no sneaky shenanigans here, as Shadowfaxx's population is sitting very, very healthy at this moment, but he is pushed back into his main base. We've got 274 population remaining for Suppe, as he's trying to break through this as best as he can. Going to break down the watchtower over here. We see these units on this position getting taken out by the heavy Toxotes as they're looking to push off the gold mine. We do have to remember there is still this gold mine on this position. Shadowfaxx does not have that many resources in the bank, though he loses a lot of farms here. That's 8 farms on that position there that he's going to be losing. He does have 71 villages remaining here, as we'll see if he's going to be able to hold this, as the Heroes of Ragnarok over here do end up getting taken down. Villagers on this position have been spotted by a handful of infantry units, but they are going to be making a break for it. Back to the home base, as the Heroes of Ragnarok pushing through here very aggressively, surely going to be looking to jump onto that back gold mine over there, try and break down the temple as well here. As the army over here getting pulled back, we still have villagers on this gold mine. Going to run back into the main base over here, but the army of Suppe is incredibly strong here for Suppe, and we'll see how it's going to go. Shadowfaxx in a very, very difficult position, trying to throw up this fortress on this location yet again. I'm not sure it's going to get up in time. He does have a very nice position over here dealing with a couple of these units, but mostly these are just Toxotes, which aren't really they are good if you can keep them away from the Heroes of Ragnarok without losing too many of them here. As a couple more units getting taken out, as the fortress is desperately trying to get pulled up, as the town center on this position going to be getting taken down. Houses going down as well, as Shadowfaxx has to rebuild his houses potentially up on this location over here. We do see that Suppe has grabbed this town center as well, so he's going to be able to start his production very, very healthily straight away as villagers falling on this position over here as Toxotes trying to hold on here as units pulling off all of these buildings in the middle of the map. The farm's getting taken down on this position of the farm villages as Shadowfaxx's villager population is dropping drastically in this game here. And Shadowfaxx does end up deciding that it is too hard for him to hold on here. Ragnarok is a fair and balanced god power, but to be honest, Shadowfaxx had a lot of opportunities to win this game, but he just didn't decide to right-click on a town center when he had all those Minotaurs, all those hoplites. He could have just taken a town center down, no problems here, but he just didn't go for it, and that allows Suppe the opportunity to get to the heroic age, get the defense going, get to the mythic age, click the Ragnarok for a ton of Rag heroes. And Shadowfaxx just cannot defend against that without, like, basically you need massive Haspis. He's just got the Toxotes here. You can't hold very easily at all. And Suppe manages to level the series 1-1 now. Going to be moving on to game number 3 very, very shortly. If you guys are enjoying this series, enjoying this tournament, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.